What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Walking on Water. In today's video, we're out here on the lake kokanee fishing currently. It's cold out. The water's cold. It's 39 degrees surface water temperature. And I wanted to go over quickly 3 things that I wish I knew before kokanee fishing. This is for the beginner angler. This could even be for the experienced angler that just wants to get back to the basics. I hope these 3 things help you guys out. Stay tuned, guys. Let's get right into the 3 things so we can go catch some more kokanee. All right, guys. First things first. I know it looks like there's a lot going on, which there kind of is a lot going on if you kind of want to get down to the nitty gritty and you're just the average person that's trying to learn exactly how to catch kokanee, for sure. You got downriggers, you got the downrigger weights, you got the downrigger clip, you got the rod, you got the reel with a line counter on it so you understand how deep you are, and not even to mention what setups to use and how to use the setups so you can fish effectively, right? So yeah, it looks and appears like there's a lot of things going on out here, but in all actuality, it's pretty simple to get and set it up so you can be more successful on the water when you're actually kokanee fishing. The first most important thing that I wish that I knew before kokanee fishing was how fast I needed to actually troll, right? I knew a little bit about trout, and I know trout, you want to go about 1.8, anywhere from 1.5 to 2.1 miles an hour. You know what I mean? And kokanee are a salmon, and so I figured, okay, so 1.5 is probably going to be a great speed for kokanee. Unfortunately, not knowing that, before I went out and started fishing, I spent weeks, if not months, trolling way too fast. Maybe catching a fish every once in a while, but never actually going out and being effective at what I was doing when I was fishing on the water. So the number one most important thing is speed. And I'll go over a couple of things you can do to ensure the fact that you are going the right speed. What is the right speed? The right speed for kokanee, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree, is 1.2 miles an hour. That is the absolute sweet spot for kokanee. Now, anywhere from 1 mile an hour to up to 1.4 miles an hour, you can be fairly effective for kokanee. So don't worry about it too much, guys. I mean, let's go over a couple things that you can do to ensure that you're going the right speed. So there's a huge glare. As you can see right now, I'm going 1.3. It does drop down to 1.2 every once in a while when I make a turn, but I'm going 1.3 to 1.4 miles an hour right now. Now, in my mind, that's still a little fast for me, right? This is a new boat, and I haven't ran it a lot with this 25 horse motor, and so it's pushing us pretty fast. When I was using the Minn Kota before the battery died, hashtag I need a lithium battery, please. I would love a lithium battery. Before the battery died, I was going 1.2 to 1.3 miles an hour. So the first thing that I would recommend is a fish finder with some sort of speedometer on it, because you are trolling for kokanee 95% of the time, unless you're jigging or it's wintertime and you're on the ice jigging for kokanee as well. But a good way to help mitigate speed are drift socks like this one that's in the water right now, and then just like this one in the water as well. This is a 30-inch drift sock right here, and this is only like a 14-inch drift sock. So if I had 2 30-inch drift socks, which I'm gonna get one because I didn't know, because this is the first time I've used this actual motor, then I would be going 1.2 mile an hour. Okay, guys, that is the number one thing that I wish I knew before kokanee fishing, so I just didn't waste literally months of my life out here trolling the wrong speed for kokanee, wondering why everybody else is catching fish. And I would ask questions and stuff like that, and that's how I eventually figured it out. I just started talking to people and picked their brain, and then they in turn, you know, gave me the information that I could go and utilize, okay? That's the number one thing. Guys, comment down below what your favorite lake to kokanee fish on. I have a lot of plans to travel this year, and I would absolutely love to travel, you know, to go see different lakes and to go kokanee fish in different places. I love fishing new water, and I love learning new things, guys. So, all right, guys, let's go into the second thing that I wish I knew before kokanee fishing, because there's a million options for lures and setups out there that you can use, right? Everybody's selling something, everybody's got their colors, and the fish love certain things more than other things, as we all know as fishermen, right? We know when you have a hot bait, right? Or you have a hot lure. You know that there's guides out there that are using certain things, and that's, you know, kind of what makes them a guide, because they've honed in and dialed in these tidbits of information and just capitalized on the fact that they know exactly what these fish want and when they want it, right? What temperature is the water? So I'm gonna use this color. Okay, the water's this temperature, I'm gonna use this color. I'm fishing early morning, I'm gonna use this color. Let's go through a couple setups that I wish I had in my arsenal initially that would have helped me catch a lot more fish. All right guys, here's one of my leaderboards, and I'm gonna show you a couple of these setups just really fast. If I can even get them off. There we go. So here's one setup. Now I know you could go into the store and you could purchase similar setups just like this right out of the package. And I think if that's what you want to do, 100% go and do that. I think that's perfectly fine. I fished a lot of setups straight out of the store and so on and so forth. And understanding the size, the spin, and the hook set for your kokanee setups, I think is just really important, so you can understand the fish just a little bit better. Small, non-subtle presentations. You're only trolling 1.2 miles an hour, okay? And so you want to get the most action out of your dodger and out of your setup as you possibly can. A lot of people find great success fishing just the hoochie, just like so, and a lot of people find success in the spinner blade or the smiley blade like this one right here. The one thing and the second thing that I wish I knew before I started kokanee fishing was to not get locked in on one simple setup and to not adjust my setup just because this one has caught a bunch of fish before. I'm biased. I tie up my own walking on water hybrid hoochies, and that's what these are right here. So of course, I'm always out here trying new hoochies and testing these out. And so I love these, and they've killed fish for me, a bunch of fish, you guys. Absolutely destroy the fish out here with the walking on water hybrid hoochie. But what I've done in the past, and what I see people do all the time when they're out here fishing for kokanee, is they have one tried and true setup, and that's the end all be all. That's what they're using no matter what, and they don't switch it up and they don't switch it out, and they just don't diversify themselves on different setups. So the number two thing that I wish is, which I probably knew this before, and I'm sure you guys know this as well, but let's just call this a friendly reminder. Diversify yourself when you're out there fishing. If you fish for a long time and something hasn't happened, you know, something's wrong, right? And we could attest it to whatever. We could attest it to me not wearing a sock on my right foot, or we could attest it to barometric pressure with all the storms moving in and out, or we could attest it to the fact that I've ran the same bait all day and haven't changed up a lure one time, you know? So number two, you gotta be versatile when you're kokanee fishing. If you see people catching fish, you know, and you're not catching fish, something's gotta change. A variable has to change. So the number two thing is make sure you are malleable on the water and you are changing out lures if the one that you are using does not want to catch fish, even though you've caught a ton of fish on it before. All right, guys, the third and final thing that I wish that I knew before I decided to start kokanee fishing, and this one's gonna be kind of like a few eggs in the same basket, right? Is understanding water temperature, what water temperature that kokanee thrive at the most. Hint, hint, it's 52 degrees, 50 to 52 degrees from the research that I've done. You can do your own research and you might find out something different. Maybe the information that I found in the past has been updated and something has drastically changed, right? That's why I feel like today we're out here on the water, 39 degree surface water temperature, and I have yet to catch a fish on a lake that I have limited out on so many times in my life in a couple hours. You know what I mean? And so there's obvious telltale signs from the water temperature that you need to understand before even going out kokanee fishing, right? And I'm gonna show you a couple things that are kind of all in different things, but they could all go together with the water temperature aspect. So let's talk about that really fast right now. The first things first, and I've showed this device a lot in my videos because I stand by this device and I think it's super important to have one on every boat if you're out searching for kokanee or any other fish, right? Understanding the fish and the water temperature. And this is a Fish Hawk TD. I have a video of it on my channel if you want to see exactly how it works. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what this thing does. But go over to my channel, Walking on Water. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these things, guys. Super important. If you do enjoy the videos or you have learned something, of course. But anyways, back to the Fish Hawk TD. Fish Hawk TD will take a temperature reading of the water every 5 feet as you lower it down to the bottom of the water system, okay? So every 5 feet, you're gonna get a temperature reading. So, like I said, today is 39 degrees. I'm not even using it. We're out here literally hunting kokanee. Let's say it's summertime and the water is 74 degrees on the surface. I'm gonna drop the Fish Hawk TD down until I find that anywhere from 45 up to 52 degree water where I know those kokanee are gonna be hanging out, and I can actively target them by just understanding how water temperature affects these fish. So that's the number one egg in the basket. Let's get to the second egg in the water temperature basket really fast. The second egg in the water temperature basket is the kokanee corn, right? And now if you want to learn how to brine up kokanee corn, again, go over to the channel, my channel, Walking on Water, and check out how I brine up my killer kokanee corn. And these are just two different types of corn that we're running here today. And you're thinking, oh, that's bait. I don't understand what that has to do with water temperature, right? But it actually very much does have to do with water temperature. During the late spring, when the water starts to warm up, I've noticed and I've found after my extensive hours on the water kokanee fishing that a garlic bloody tuna-esque brine is gonna do a lot better than, let's say like an anise and krill, like I have these two brined up right here. Okay, guys? So you have two different kinds of corn. I'm fishing both today because, like I said, the water temperature is so cold and we're literally just out here hunting fish. We're guessing. We don't actually know, you know, what these things are actually biting on right now because we haven't caught one yet this year because the fluctuation in temperatures, right? And so I decided to brine up two different colors and two different flavors of corn just because I know from my experience kokanee fishing that during certain times of the year, the water temperature changes and the flavor of the food that the fish are eating also change with the water temperature, right? Certain fish can handle hot degree water, but a kokanee cannot handle it. If you take a kokanee out at 75 degree water temperature on the surface during the summer and you release it, that fish is gonna die. That fish cannot handle above 60 degree water temperature. So you need to understand water temperature so you understand what type of bait and what type of sense to put in front of these fish, guys. So I know this sounded probably like a little bit of a rant to you guys, but these are just 3 things to help any beginner or maybe even an advanced kokanee angler get back to the basics and understanding what it's gonna take to actually get out on the lake and be successful at different times of year. It's just helpful information to understand what you're doing while you're fishing. And now I know everybody catches kokanee, right? It's super simple, super easy, but understanding how these fish work, understanding the equipment that you need, and understanding the tackle and the setups that you also need to be successful and not getting stuck in your ways is just a big way to be more successful on the water, guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Walking on Water. This was the 3 things that I wish I knew before kokanee fishing out here on the gorgeous lake up here in North Idaho. Please, guys, if you enjoyed this video at all, it helped you in any sense of the word, please like and please subscribe. Leave a comment too. Leave a comment. What's your favorite lake to kokanee fish on? I would love to travel around to different lakes and catch kokanee in different places. So please leave that comment. So thank you so much for tuning in to Walking on Water. I'll see you in the next one.